Hey, we got new owners at Ecluse and Paso Robles. Mendoza, great for both wine and food. A cool new addition over at Wine Searcher. And what are the most searched for Napa Valley wines? We have the answer. All that and more on this week's episode of This Week Uncorked. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 42 of This Week Uncorked for Monday, May 5th. 2025. I'm Brett Martin from Cork and Journey, your number one source for corkage fees, wine reviews, winery reviews, restaurant reviews. We've got all that and more. And with that, let's get right on into this week's news. All right. Hey, we're big fans of Ecluse. They're up in Paso, beautiful little winery. Pam and Steve Locke are the owners. Been there, I think, 25 years they've had it. Anyway, it is changing hands, and it is being handed over to the Gidsby and Josh Beckett. From the press release, the historic wine property has officially found new stewards as Pam and Steve Locke, founders of Ecluse Wines, step into a well-earned retirement. After more than 25 years of heartfelt winemaking and community building in the Paso Robles wine country, the property and winery have been purchased by Gidsby and Josh Beckett, owners of Thibodeau Winery, who will now shepherd the Ecluse Wines legacy while continuing to grow their own Thibodeau brand. Kind of cool. They're going to have the two labels put together, do a shared tasting space. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep two tasting rooms or one. I will tell you the Ecluse property is beautiful. Vineyard's beautiful. Pam and Steve are going to continue to live on property, and I think they're going to kind of just meander around the tasting room as well. Why not? So congratulations to them, and if you are up in Paso, this is one you need to add to your list. All right, and moving on, Decanter has got a really cool article on the Michelin Guide Buenos Aires and Mendoza 2025 winners were revealed. I really like this. There's a great wine tie in here because I know it's about food, but food and wine, they go together. And 6 of the one-star winners were from Mendoza, and a couple of them were wineries. So from the article, Angelica Cochina Maestra at Cantina Zapata, led by dynamic young duo Josefina Diana and Miguel Manuel Fejo, also upped his game with his own set of green and red stars alongside Casa Vigil, which also falls under the Cantina umbrella. So basically, they are killing it over there in Mendoza with these restaurants. As I look through the list of the one-star restaurants, 6 of them fall into the Mendoza area. So if you're there visiting your Cadalso winery, you now have 6 one-star Michelin restaurants right there. One got 3-star. That was in Buenos Aires. But man, congratulations to them and great stuff. Also over at Decanter, I had to throw this in before we kind of do our mid-break here. White wine could reduce your risk of cardiac arrest, a study claims. I swear, all you scientists, if you could just get in a room, take a vote, figure it out, let us know where we all stand on this. Classic, though, from the article, this is a huge study. UK Biobank recruited more than 500,000 middle-aged and elderly Brits. The average age was 56 and a half years, while 54.41% of the participants were female and 45.59% were male. And this is the most bizarre part of this whole thing. One of the study's most intriguing findings is the cardioprotective effect associated with champagne and white wine consumption, questioning long-held assumptions about the specificity of red wine's cardioprotective properties. All right, we're just going to get to the bottom of it. I think maybe we can safely assume the red or white wine in moderation is probably good for you than not. So we'll see, though. I'm going to get a lot of hate mail. I had someone write me, all alcohol's poison. I don't know why you watch this show. What's the matter with you? Anyway, moving on. Before we go to the break, I want to jump to the rest of the news. I have a question of the week. This was from Nigel Dalal. He writes out, hey, you mentioned in many of your videos about your cellar. I'm moving to Las Vegas and would like to know if you could recommend any vendor who builds custom wine cellars in Las Vegas. Thank you. Yes, I can. So the company called Custom Wine Cellar, they're actually based, I think, in Orange County, but they also work in Las Vegas. They build a lot of cellars for the hotels out here. I didn't use that. No. What I ended up doing was I looked at it. Those things, what you're looking at, those screens, about $100,000. So I ended up going, I had Vino Views already. So I had the Vino View quad system, and that kind of did it for me. I looked, I said, well, these are getting it done. So is it a cellar? I don't know. Not really. It's 4 large wine fridges, but I always call it the cellar. And so that's my cellar. Holds about 600 and something bottles. There you go. 4 Vino Views. Well worth it. And by the way, that price, if you follow wine enthusiasts, man, they do the Black Friday sales. They do all those sales. So pay attention to that. That $10,000, $11,000 price tag, you can get it down for around $7,500 if you're patient and you're paying attention. But I love them. They're absolutely amazing. I use 3 of them. I don't have any of the dual controls. Dual climate. I basically have 3 of them that I set for reds and 1 of them that I set for whites and champagne. And that's kind of how I do it. So anyway, thanks you for the question. All right, and moving on with the news, tasting panel and SOMM journal reviews are now available over at Wine Searcher. If you don't know the tasting panel or the SOMM journal, you need to. These are industry magazines. Really worth checking out. Meredith May is the publisher and editor-in-chief over here, and she does an amazing job, puts on a lot of SOMM-related events as well. So worth checking out. I love it when these magazines come in. I think it's kind of inside ball, good stuff to read. So again, take a look at those. And from the press release, Wine Searcher is excited to announce that its website will now feature wine and spirits reviews from the tasting panel and SOMM journal. Since we review hundreds of wines a month for the industry, we wanted to share that with an audience we otherwise would not reach, the consumer, says Meredith May, publisher, editor-in-chief of the tasting panel and SOMM journal. Wine Searcher engine lists approximately 20 million wine, beer, and spirits products and averages 5.2 million active monthly users, and consumers make 240 million active searches each year. Pretty cool stuff. And it's kind of nice because if you're in there and you're looking for a wine and you click over to the review section, depending on what you've got and what you're subscribing to, I mean, you're basically seeing all the top reviewers out there and seeing what they've got, what they rate the wine. And oftentimes, you don't have to believe reviewers, but maybe there's a reviewer that kind of aligns with your taste profile. And you're like, oh, well, if he likes it, then I must like it. So, or if she likes it, then I must like it. So anyway, nice. Glad. Congratulations to both Tasting Panel, SOMM Journal, as well as Wine Searcher. I think it's a win-win for everybody. And also from Wine Searcher, they have Napa's most wanted wines of 2025. Again, when you have those 240 million searches annually, what are people searching for? So far, 2025, the top Napa wine searches are as follows. Number 1, Opus 1. Yeah, classic Opus. Fittingly, number 1. There you go. And that's $466 on average. Number 2, Screaming Eagle at 97 points, $3,842 average price. Dominus Estates, 361 with an aggregate score of 96 points. Harlan Estate, critical scores of 97 on average, $1,570. And hey, your bargain basement is going to be Caymus Vineyards, Cabernet Sauvignon, Rutherford, 91 points, $90. I don't know. Caymus and Chuck Wagner's wine seems to have fallen out of favor lately, but I think they're still fairly good. So give that a shot as well. So the list goes on and on and on, but worth taking a look at. With that, let's get to our wine and winery of the week. All right, well, since we're talking about all the big Napa, top 5 Napa wines, let's go to Napa. Let's go to Stags Leap Winery in Napa. That's S-T-A-G-S apostrophe. There is also S-T-A-G apostrophe S. Read our review. It'll explain the difference. Anyway, this is a beautiful state. Well, we're checking out. if you're up in Napa, I highly recommend you check out both of them. They're just down the street from each other. So they make some beautiful wines. I'm a big fan here. The Petite Syrah to me is the star of the show over at Stags Leap. It's a lovely day. They do some wonderful little tours up there. We had a great time, always do. You can kind of go to their pre-prohibition area where they had the speakeasy. It's just, it's a nice property and one you should add to your list when you're up in Napa. And then for our wine of the week, I am going to botch this, but it's the 2022 Cooperativa del Cadalso Vinos de Madrid Granito Cadalso Garnacha. That week's $20. We scored it 91 points. A beautiful Spanish wine. Just beautiful. I mean, what can you say? $20, 91 points. This should be my buy it now, and you can find it on Wine Searcher. It's a good wine. We stumbled across this. We were at a restaurant. I think we paid $60 for it at a restaurant, $70, whatever they were charging us. I go, wow, this is pretty good. How much is it? I can get it for $20. Anyway, a beautiful Grenache, or Garnacha, as they would say in Spain. So check it out. And with that, let's get on to a restaurant and corkage of the week. Alrighty, we were in Tahoe sometime last year and had a chance to go over to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, Lake Tahoe. I don't know if you ever heard of Gordon Ramsay. One of the nicest guys, so mellow, just chill. I mean, he's basically just a big teddy bear, and evidently he can cook. Who knew? Anyway, we stopped in. I have to tell you, I had no expectations. Never been to one of his restaurants. Never been to a Hell's Kitchen. A little pricey, but man, oh man, it was good food. We just, across the board, I just enjoyed every single dish that was served. A lot of intention on the preparation. The frog gras there, oh, man, I will tell you, it was really good. I was shocked. And we got here one in Vegas as well. I've gone there a couple times. If you've never been into Hell's Kitchen, you think, it's just one of those celebrity restaurants. You know what? Give it a shot. It may be, but man, they do a nice job. Corkage was $50 a bottle, which is not bad. Not bad at all for a restaurant of this caliber. So anyway, Hell's Kitchen. A million other people have reviewed it, but I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in because teddy bear, Gordon, just, one of the nicest guys. He needs hugs. He says, hug me, Anyway. All right, everybody. That's going to wrap up our show for this week. As always, if you want, hey, check out episode 5 down below. That's where we talk about Ecluse wines and who just got sold. And also, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on social media, all of those things. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next week.